Welcome, my dear students. So, today we are going to learn lesson number 6, History, Empowerment of Women and Other Weaker Sections. So, let's start. Next topic is International Women's Year. The United Nations had declared 1975 as the International Women's Year. The three aspects of this program were peace, development, and equality between men and women. In 1975, the Government of India constituted the Committee on the Status of Women and appointed Dr. Fulrenu Guha as its chairman. A comprehensive survey was conducted of several issues such as the social position of women, their status, the consequences of the constitutional provisions made for women, as also education of women and its percentage, their progress due to education, difficulties faced by working women, the position of women with respect to work, their wages related to men's wages, the female male ratio, birth and mortality rates, and the role of women. Taking into consideration this entire background, a statewide conference for women was held in 1975 by the Stree Mukti Sangharsha Samiti. Women from all walk of life region participated in it. The Samiti published its manifesto in 1978. The policy of a struggle against discrimination on the basis of gender, caste, and varna was adopted. This gave rise to a collection of songs called Stree Muktichi Lalkari, a street play called Mulgi Jali Ho by Jyoti Mapeskar, and a periodical called Prerak Lalkari, which became their mouthpiece, and other such programs in 1977, groups like the Stree Mukti Andolan Samiti established by Saudamini Rao in Pune Byaja a fortnightly as also Sri Uvach Maitrin and Sri Nyaya Virodi Manch in Aurangabad, Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Kolhapur, Mahila Hakka in Nashik, and Nari Prabodhan Manch in Latur were formed. Anti-dowry protection committees were formed all over Maharashtra. A conference to protest against oppression of women was organized in Dhule city. Vidya Bal's periodicals Nari Samata Manch and Milun Saryajani is also the work of the Samajwadi Mahila Sabha and the Krantikari Mahila Sangatana were of great help in dealing with women's issue. The Employment Guarantee Scheme in Maharashtra also helped the empower women. Pramila Dandavate established the Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Delhi in 1976. Branches of the Samiti came up in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab. The Communist Party established the Akhil Bharatiya Janavadi Mahila Sangatna in 1980. Efforts were made to start branches of this organization in all parts of India. The Sangatana started a struggle against issues like dowry, female ferticide, domestic abuse, etc. Research on women's issues was undertaken at various levels. Women's study centers were started at the first women's university, the Srimati Nathibai Damodar Thakere's SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, and at Tata Institute of Social Sciences Women Savitribai Phule Pune University and Shivaji University Kolhapur. These centers played an important role in critical analysis and in developing in vision on women's issues. So next point is laws for women. The laws enacted in 1952 recognizes women's right to alimony and their share in the father's property. Her right to Stridhan was recognized. Polygamy was made illegal and women just like men got the right to for divorce. It was a law that took one step forward concerning women's issues over the following decade. The Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 made both giving and taking of dowry a cognizable criminal offense. This dismantled the dowry tradition by its roots and further encouraged the social movement. The law alleviated the distress to women caused by the undesirable tradition of dowry. The Maternity Benefit Act, which gave women the right to get leave from work at the time of childbirth, also came into force in 1961. So, uh, another point is awareness against the dowry tradition. Even after the enactment of the anti dowry law, incidents like women burns to death as sari pallu catches fire while cooking and woman slips into well while washing clothes, drowns and dies continued to be reported. Investigations still revealed dowry to be the most frequent cause of such deaths. The role of the police, the administration, and the judiciary were highlighted. This created greater awareness. As a result, the Dowry Prohibition Amendment Act came into force in 1984. In 1988, 2,209 women died victim to the dowry tradition. In 1990, the number of dowry deaths was 4,835 and in 1993 it was 5,377. These numbers will impress upon you the seriousness of the issue. So, next point is Family Court 1984. Family courts were established to resolve conflicts arising out of differences within marriage and domestic problems as well as issues such as alimony, single parenthood, separation, care of children and ownership which are all related to the family situation. These family courts give priority to mutual understanding over witness and evidence and to counselors over lawyers. Emphasis is on resolving issues quickly but justly. A fixed amount paid to a married woman for her upkeep by the husband who has divorced her is called alimony. So, our next point is trial involving alimony 1985. In the case of Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Shah Bano Begum, the Supreme Court gave the verdict that Shah Bano Begum had the right to alimony. However, religious organizations protested vociferously against the verdict. As a result, the Muslim Women's Act Protection for Rights on Divorce was passed by Parliament. So next point is the Commission of Sati Prevention Act. On 4th September 1987, Roop Kaur, a married woman, committed sati. She died not do this of her own free will. She was forced into doing so. Committing sati, glorifying the practice of sati were all illegal acts. The women activist and journalist Meena Menon, Geeta Seshu, Sujata Anandan, Anu Joseph, and Kalpana Sharma investigated the case. In 1998, the government passed the Sati Prevention Act with very stringent provision. Protection of Human Rights Act. In 1993, this law was enacted to prevent injustice to women and men. The National Human Rights Commission was also formed for this purpose. In some states, the State Human Rights Commission was also formed on the same lines. This law, which deals with collective oppression, the social conditions of divorced women, women in secure workplaces played an effective role in mitigating injustices to women. Reservation for women. So next point is reservation for women. The 73rd and the 74th Amendment to the Constitution provide for reservation of one-third of the seats for women in Gram Panchayats, Panchayat Samitis, Zilla Parishad, municipalities and municipal corporations as well as for the post of Sarpanch, Chairman and Mayor. Maharashtra and 15 other states have reserved 50% seats for women. This provision provides women the opportunity to participate in the business of the community. In the post independence period, the Constitution of India accepted the principle of equality of men and women. Hence, women got the important political rights to vote, women got equal rights to education and work on par with men. Inhuman practices like sati, dowry, and polygamy were banned by law. Women's right to sue for divorce was recognized. They got a lawful share in property. In local self government bodies, seats was reserved for women so that they would have their just share of political power. We see today that due to this provision, women have begun to get education and to earn. Also, due to ideas of women's liberation, women are developing a sense of self. They have begun to participate enthusiastically and with determination in all fields of education, earning money, administration, politics, etc. So, our next point is scheduled caste. In the post independence period, our constitution adopted the values of freedom, equality, fraternity, and social justice. In accordance with this, the practice of untouchability was banned by law. Untouchability was removed by the 17th paragraph of the constitution, and his class was included in the scheduled caste. In views of the educational and social backwardness of this caste, they were given reservations in education as well as jobs to facilitate their development. So next point is scheduled tribes. Just like the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes or Adivasis who live in remote parts of the country also face several difficulties as they have lived for away from the progress made in modern times. They are economically and socially backward, even though their conditions have been some improvement in recent times. They do not have any means of livelihood other than agriculture and forest produce. Modern farming implements have not yet reached them, hence, their income from agriculture is very small. Besides, their fields are on hillsides and not fertile, they are malnourished due to insufficient and poor quality of diet. Adivasis in remote areas find it difficult to get medical attention in time. For all these reasons, there is a need to give special protection to Adivasis. So next point is nomadic and denotified tribes. Caste and tribes that move from place to place for a livelihood are included under nomadic tribes. They live by rearing animals and engaging in some other occupations. The British had declared some of them as criminal tribes in the law of 1871 to curb crimes. Some of the main groups were mentioned as criminal tribes. Their occupations and movement were banned. This unjust law was repealed in the post independence period and the curbs on these tribes were lifted. They were included under denotified tribes. Special efforts are made by the government for the purpose of their social and economic development. So, our last point is minorities. In any society, a group of people of a particular religion, language, or race who are few in number are termed a minority. As there are various religious sects and languages in our country, we see great cultural diversity. This is variation in cultural traditions too. In order to preserve their cultural traditions and develop their own language, the Constitution gives the citizens certain educational and cultural rights. Minorities have the right to protect and conserve the language, culture, and traditions. For the purpose, they have the right to set separate educational institutions. The government implements various schemes for their progress. So, in the next chapter, we shall learn about the progress that India has made in the field of science and technology in post independence period. Thank you for watching.